Hello soulmates! It's an absolute pleasure to have you once again on my channel. If this is your first time checking out this channel, you are absolutely welcome. Today is part 2 of a two-part series. In my last video I showed you how to make a peplum skirt, and this is the pattern that we did in the last video. So if you have not checked that out, I suggest you look at that first, make your pattern, and then you come over to see how I put it together. So off camera I went ahead and because this peplum is gonna be a double layered peplum, I went ahead and I serged the end of my peplum because I'm just going to turn it up. If you want to use a lining to finish the hem of it, you can also do that, but what I did is just that I serged the end of my both peplums and I put the shorter one wrong side facing the right side, and I run a basting stitch all around to secure them together. So this is what I have, but I'm going to put this aside for a little while, and then we're going to work on the main part of this dress. So to do this dress, you're going to need your pins or your wonder clips. You're also going to need the zipper that you're going to put in the back of the skirt. You're going to need your clipper, your tools that you use to insert your zipper. You're going to also need the pattern and a piece of chalk if necessary. So let's get started with this project. So the first thing that I'm going to do, if you remember from the last video, I told you to mark your darts. So this is where I made a notch for the back and the front. Also, you're going to take your clipper and you're going to notch the hip so that you know where that is. So I'll just notch it like this. Okay, so I know where my hip line is. So what I'm going to do, the first thing I'm going to do is that I'm going to take it and I'm going to sew my darts. So the last time we marked the darts and where they stop. So all you have to do, you're going to put your fabric and you're going to sew all the way down to where your dart stop. And you're going to do that for both sides. So in this case, this is where my dart stop. So I'm gonna put my notches together like this and I'm gonna sew all the way down. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to sew that and then I'll show you what to do next. Also, remember to open the back where your zipper will go. So you're going to slit it so that you could insert your zipper. So now I'm going to insert these darts. After I do that, I'll show you what to do. So as you see, I went ahead and I sewed my darts at the front and also at the back. So what I'm going to do now, if you see, that's my dart. So what I'm going to do now is that I'm going to put right sides facing each other like this. Okay, like this, and I'm going to ensure that the hip line is the same, the hips are at the same place. So that's what I have here, and I'm going to put my right sides facing each other here also. So what I'm going to do now is that I'm going to take my 1-inch seam allowance all the way at the side. Okay, so I'm going to take that 1-inch seam allowance all the way there, then I'm going to iron it and serge it. Okay, so ensure that you have your pressing iron nearby so that you could press out your seams so that they look relaxed. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take my 1-inch seam allowance. Okay, soulmates, so I went ahead and I attached the two sides together. So this is what you're supposed to have. Now what you're going to do is that you're going to grab your waistband, okay, and you're going to put right sides facing each other like this. Okay, so what I'm going to do, you could go ahead, as I've always said, and put your zipper in if you want it that way, and then put a lap with a button. Maybe one day I'll show you a tutorial on how you could do it that method. but I'm just going to put in my waistband, and then I insert my zipper. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my waistband and the edge that I serged, I'm going to take the one that is not serged and I'm going to put it on my waistline like this, and I'm going to run a stitch all the way. Okay, I'm gonna run a stitch all the way, take with my 1/2 inch seam allowance that I have left, all the way to the end of my skirt waist. Okay, so that's what I'm gonna do now. After I do that, I'll show you what to do. Okay, soulmates, so after I attach my your waistband, this is what you are supposed to have. Okay, so this is what it looks like, and that's what you're supposed to have. So now what you're going to do, you're going to take it to your ironing board and you're going to fold in your seam allowance, your 1 inch, and you're going to iron it, right? You're going to make a crease, because now we're going to attach our zipper, and I'm putting an invisible zipper in this project. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead on both sides. I'm going to take my 1 inch all the way down, and I'm gonna iron that down. So I'll do that and then I'll show you what to do. Okay, soulmates, so this is what I went ahead and I did. I serged it and I took my 1 inch seam allowance that I left for both sides of my skirt, so for the back. Okay, so this is what I have. Now I'm going to take my zipper, right, and I am going to, what I usually do, I like to clip off the little top here, so it serves as somewhat a guide and I don't have the whole thing like bulging. So I cut this off, okay, and then I ensure that it's even all through. So there you have it, it is. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to go and insert my zipper. You could use a regular zipper if you want, that's fine. I just like invisible zippers because it looks a bit cleaner at the back. So what I'm going to do from this point here, so this is my middle, I'm going to take it right here and I'm going to sew all the way down until about here, about 8 inches or 9 inches, about here, and then I do the other side. So I'm gonna insert my zipper and then I'll show you what to do next. Okay, soulmates, so this is what I have when I went ahead and I attached my zipper. So if you notice that when I attach the zippers, these seams must be in line with each other. Also, you notice here it's flat and it's straight. This is where the zipper stops. You could hardly see it. So now I also left about 1.5 inches at the bottom so as to finish the seam after I attach the flare to the bottom. So after I do that, what I'm going to do now, so remember to always trim away your threads so that you don't break your zipper. So what you're going to do now is that you're going to ensure that it's zipped down also properly. So mine is okay. So what I'm going to do now, so this is what you have. You're going to take this here and you're going to fold it over like that. There are some persons who turn their seam up to conceal the edges, but because I serged mine, I'm just going to go ahead and use my presser foot, the narrow one, and run a stitch all the way down, but not on the zipper teeth so that it cannot open. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do now, and then I'm just going to finish up my waistband. So that's what I'm gonna do now. Okay, soulmates, so this is what you have after you attach your waistband. This is what the inside looks like. You see how clean that is? And this is the outside of your skirt. So the final thing that you have to do to this skirt is to go ahead and attach your ruffles at the end. Okay, you're gonna attach your flare. This, you don't worry about this, that will be cut off. Okay, so I suggest what you do is that you hem. So let me put this aside and then I'll tell you. I suggest you hem this first pleat first. Hem the first pleat first. You could do a double hem like this, or you could, if you have a serger, you could just leave it like that. Or if you have lining, you can also line it. I think it would be much nicer lined. But do the first one first, and then we're going to put it on the skirt, and then after we sew it down, then we're going to close up the bottom one, so it gives it a nice finish at the end. So I'm gonna do that and show you what it looks like. So I went ahead and I did the first half. It's yet to be pressed, so I'll just do it once. So now you're going to take your flare and grab your wonder clips, and you're going to start to clip it. Put right sides facing each other now. Right sides face each other like this. And you're starting from the back of the skirt where the zipper is, right? Because remember we said we're going to send it to the back. So now you're going to clip it all the way around, and then you're going to take it to your sewing machine. So after you do that, after you clip it all the way around, you ensure that they match, okay? Because you don't want to make that mistake, right? And you're going to keep clipping it all the way around so that you could take it and make a final stitch. You got chains, is a chain breaker. You need healing. Is a prison shaking savior. You got chains, is a chain breaker. Okay, so I have it clipped. What I'm going to do, I'm going to take it to my sewing machine and attach it. So this is what it looks like. I went ahead and I attached the ruffles to the skirt, and I finished also the seam that's here. So this is what we have so far. I mean, if you make this into like with a 360-degree flare, not a 306 but a 720-degree flare, or it's gonna be so fluffy and nice and looking really good. So the only thing I have left to do is to hem the bottom of the skirt. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to take it and I'm going to hem the last flare. So I'm going to do that now, and then I'm going to give it another press. But this is the end result, the essence of the dress. If you find this video helpful, do not forget to give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to this channel so that you'll be notified each time I make a video. Comment in the comment section and let me know if you have any questions. Until we meet again, take good care. I'm going to go ahead and hem the bottom of this skirt. All the best, and God bless you. See you soon.